Today, I want to dedicate this entire video to talking about Mabel and all the events related to her. In this video, I'll go through everything from her skills and stats to whether she's worth pulling, and I'll also guide you through all of the current events. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in together. First, let me give you a quick guide to the events related to Mabel's banner. Event 1, the Inquisitor's Day Off. This event includes a mini game that's actually pretty fun. All you have to do is select the icons so they line up with the marker in the middle to succeed. However, it requires quite a bit of careful calculation because every time you choose an icon, it will move one space toward that icon. Next is the story section. There's really not much to explain here. You simply watch the story to claim the rewards. Then we have the event stages. They're pretty straightforward as well. You just participate in the battles. There's nothing particularly special about them. New players might find them a little challenging, but if you've already reached the max level, you shouldn't have any trouble clearing them. However, for newer players, I recommend clearing every difficulty manually first before using your keys to sweep the event, so you don't waste any resources. As for the event shop, the items you should prioritize are the 3 compasses, the Mabel platform, and the Monsterling Gold upgrade materials. If you end up with a lot of extra event tokens, just buy everything. That's usually what I do. And don't forget to complete all the event missions so you can claim every valuable reward. Event 2, the Arbiter's Divine Indulgence. This one is very simple. You'll receive rewards based on pulling Mabel from the Gacha. Personally, I've never managed to claim all of the milestone rewards. I usually only get the reward for obtaining the character once. Event 3, Inquisitor Mabel's 7-day gifts. Just remember to log in every day to claim your rewards. The rewards here are all really good, so don't forget to collect them. Missing even a single day would be such a waste. Event 4, Special Missions with Mabel. To complete this event, you'll need to finish the following missions. Dispatch 48 times. You get 4 dispatch attempts per day, so you'll need 12 days to complete this mission. Complete 60 requests. You can do 5 requests each day, so this one also takes 12 days. Complete 40 conquests. Clear 5 rifts. However, I think there might be a display bug because the numbers shown in the mission descriptions don't match the completion requirements. For example, the mission description says dispatch 40 times, request 50 times, conquest 30 times, and rift 8 times. Because of that, I think the actual requirements might be the lower numbers shown beneath each mission. If that's the case, then you'll only need about 10 days to finish all of these missions. Now let's move on to the part I'm sure many of you have been waiting for the most, Mabel's stats and full skill kit when fully built. At level 60, Mabel has around 2,102 ATK, 656 DF, and 9,272 HP, along with a base 5% crit rate and 50% crit damage. At first glance, you can immediately tell that she's a classic glass cannon from the Destroyer class. She deals incredibly high damage but has fairly low survivability. That's why, when building a team around Mabel, I recommend having at least one tank or support buffer that can help reduce the damage she takes. Leaving her alone on the battlefield can be pretty risky. As for her combat mechanics, the core of Mabel's gameplay revolves around the Epigram's will system and the judgment state. Her basic attack, Sanctification, Condemnation, has a total combo multiplier of 1,162.2% damage, which is an impressive number for a normal attack string. After landing all 4 hits of her basic combo, Mabel gains Epigram's will. Once the will gauge is full, simply hold the basic attack button for a moment, and she'll consume all of her stacks to enter the judgment state for 5 seconds. This is the key combo that I think every Mabel player needs to master. During Judgment, she locks onto the enemy in front of her and continuously deals lightning damage, while also building condemnation stacks that increase the target's neutralization damage up to a maximum of 32 stacks. One thing I really like is that Judgment doesn't end even if you switch to another character. It only expires when the duration runs out or if you perform a dodge. This gives you a lot of flexibility when rotating your team without worrying about losing the effect. Her switch skill, Judgment, Punishment, lets Mabel instantly appear next to an enemy and summon the Epigram's Executioner's Hand. dealing 364.5% damage. It's also a very efficient way to build Epigram's will, especially if you're constantly swapping characters during combat. Her special skill, Doctrine, Preach, fires a massive bolt of lightning that deals 259.8% damage. Afterward, part of that lightning energy remains suspended in the air before crashing down again, dealing an additional 259.8% bonus damage. The skill has an 8.2-second cooldown. From my own experience, I feel that's a little on the long side compared to the combo rotation speed of many other destroyers, so you'll want to time it carefully. I think the best moment to use it is right after Judgment ends so you can smoothly continue your damage rotation. And of course, the part that impressed me the most is her ultimate, Injustice, Exterminate. In the current version of the game, this ultimate deals a massive 1,701% damage, making it an incredibly powerful single-hit burst attack. It also inflicts lightning affliction for 5 seconds, weakening the enemy. While riding on the Executioner's hand, Mabel also gains 40% damage reduction, and one feature I really appreciate is that you can freely rotate the camera to change the attack direction. This is extremely useful when dealing with multiple enemies positioned around the battlefield. I think this ultimate strikes a really nice balance. It delivers incredible single-target burst damage for boss fights, while also providing some defensive utility, making it much more well-rounded than many other destroyers that focus purely on dealing damage without offering any survivability. Speaking of the awakening system, there are several awakening nodes for Mabel that I think are especially worth highlighting. The first node, Reward Virtue, Eliminate Evil, causes the Executioner's hand to automatically appear whenever Mabel enters the Judgment state, dealing additional damage while pulling nearby enemies closer. The second node, Merciless Inquisitor, increases Mabel's movement speed by 100% and continuously restores her HP during Judgment. This is extremely useful because it allows her to keep dealing damage while sustaining herself, reducing the need for a dedicated healer. As you unlock the higher awakening nodes, the damage of her basic attack, special skill, and ultimate all receive significant percentage increases. The standout is the final node, Records of Divine Guidance, which increases the total damage of her special skill by 50% and allows it to be cast twice in succession. The trade-off is that Judgment is shortened from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. Personally, I think this is a very interesting trade-off for players who enjoy fast-paced, high-pressure combo gameplay. Now let's talk about her signature artifact, Reward Virtue, Eliminate Evil, which is also the best choice if you're building Mabel as your main carry. This artifact increases ATK by 10% for any destroyer character who equips it. In addition, whenever the user gains neutralization damage boost, it also grants additional lightning damage based on stacks, up to a maximum of 3 stacks. At full stacks, it provides up to 70% lightning damage and 44% crit damage. When paired with Mabel's playstyle of maintaining Judgment as consistently as possible, this artifact noticeably boosts her overall damage output. I honestly think it's practically the default choice for anyone planning to build her as their primary DPS. So, where does Mabel stand in the current meta? Based on my hands-on experience, she's an exceptionally powerful single-target burst DPS, making her ideal for taking down bosses or dangerous elite enemies in raid content rather than clearing large groups of enemies. If your team is currently lacking a strong lightning DPS to pair with your buffers and debuffers, then Mabel is absolutely worth considering. As for team composition, I'd recommend bringing at least one tank to absorb incoming damage, along with a support that either boosts lightning damage or reduces enemy resistance, allowing Mabel to fully maximize the damage from her Judgment state and ultimate. So to wrap everything up, if you ask me whether you should pull for Mabel, my answer is yes, especially if you're looking for a main lightning DPS with gameplay that's both mechanically engaging and incredibly satisfying when you execute her combos correctly. Of course, building her to her full potential will require quite a bit of time farming Ascension materials, and she also needs a well-built team to truly shine. So be patient and invest in her gradually. For those of you who have already built Benjamin, I think Mabel pairs really well with him. That's everything I wanted to share about my analysis and personal experience with Mabel in Mongil Stardive. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really motivates me to keep making more high-quality content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.